Welcome back to Inside Africa in Uganda. As we explore the remote northeast corner of this country, our journey takes us into one of Africa's most secluded national parks, and the water that gives it life.
We are in a point called Naru's permanent wetland, which is the heart of the national park.
The tribal warfare in the 1980s and 90s that drove many away from this area included fights over local control of this water.
Today, it is a point which supports a lot of the congregation of animals that live in this valley.
Animals that are being given another chance to thrive here. Our guide drives us further into Kidepo Valley National Park, a 1,400 square kilometer park on Uganda's border with South Sudan and Kenya. With the hills of Mount Morungol on the horizon, this savanna landscape is home to nearly 500 bird species and 77 different mammals. The largest population of mammals, and arguably the most impressive, is the buffalo.
The herd we have can reach over 1,000. And in the whole of park, it is estimated that Kidepo Valley has got a population of over 10,000 buffaloes.
Water in the Narus Valley keeps the plants healthy and always growing, which gives the buffalo plenty to eat, and they graze day and night.
According to tourists who have moved all over Africa, they have been giving a comment that in the whole of the continent, Kidepo has got the largest population of buffaloes. And even in Uganda, Kidepo still takes the lead of being the highest in the buffalo population.
Buffalo are one of Kidepo's success stories, but other animals are harder to find. We get back on the road in search of a species of giraffe that was nearly wiped out here 20 years ago. On the way, we see large populations of Jackson's hartebeests and elephants which are thriving here in the Narus Valley. It takes some time before we get our first look at the giraffes. We decide to do it from the air and from a distance because our presence seems to be making them nervous. But we continue to follow our guide through the grass and get to a part of the park where he hopes we will be successful. That's where we find them. A male that our guide says is about 20 years old, with several females between 8 and 10 years old.
What we see at the background is giraffes, which is the species called the Rothschild giraffe.
A species that was healthy with a growing population when the park opened in the 1960s. But unrest and political instability created an environment where poachers, including those from across the border in South Sudan, could come to the park and kill.
Those people could get into the park and poach the giraffes for purposes of their parts. One, the tail, which they used for making the necklaces, which could be worn by men and ladies. And then the other purpose was meat. And the third one was the skin. They could use it as their mattresses.
Philip says the effects were devastating to a giraffe population that reached a high point of 400.
By about 1997, the population of the giraffes in Kidepo Valley National Park had drastically reduced to about 3 in total.
Beginning that year, Kidepo rangers increased security to cut down on poaching and translocated a handful from Kenya. In less than 20 years, Philip says the population has risen from just 3 to 40. 20 years from now, rangers hope to have more than 100 giraffes here. The size and the natural resources of the park mean the population can keep growing.
Really, the population is coming up, and we are more than sure that it will continue increasing.
Johnson Masareka is the chief warden at Kidepo. And while the animal population is growing here, the number of human visitors to the park is relatively small.
I don't think we have reached the optimum number that would wish to have in this park per year. 5,000 is much low. We hope that one time we can go to about 20,000, and for me that will be more or less an optimum number.
Part of what makes Kidepo so beautiful, its secluded, rugged landscape, is what makes it difficult to visit. From Kampala, Kidepo is a 12-hour drive. The alternative is an expensive 2-hour plane ride. Violent conflict has also plagued the park in the past.
With the security now, people are free to travel anywhere in the park anytime. The roads have very much improved. If you move on the road between Kidepo and Kampala right now, it's either tarmac or very good Maram roads, and it now takes less time to get to Kidepo than it used to in the past.
Park leaders are also hoping to double the number of people who can spend the night here, from the current 100-bed capacity. They're trying to sell visitors on the park's beauty and the wildlife that lives here.
This uniqueness, you may not find all those species in a single park at the same time, and that is a big attraction. This to me is the Ngorongoro of Uganda, and I would really invite people that have not been here, that they don't know what they are missing.
Coming up, we travel from the wetlands of Naras to the dry Kidepo Valley and its river of sand.